Hello everyone, it's Lennon. Welcome to the channel. Today I wanted to do a fun tarot thing, okay? Now, I did look up on YouTube if this was done before, but I didn't find any videos relating to this. And then I looked it up on like Google to see if someone had done it in a blog, and there does seem to be like an old Reddit post from a few years ago about this, but there weren't very many responses available. So again, if you know of anyone else that may have done this, please leave them below so we can go check them out. However, it still was a really good exercise for me because this is how I like to use tarot when I'm not just shuffling and pulling cards. Okay, I like to come up with these kind of little games for myself, that I do in the journal. So I thought, okay, well, if every single 78 card in the deck were an everyday object, what would it be? Okay. And this kind of came about because I have a Jenga game that has been pulled out of my game cabinet and it needs to go back in the cabinet. And I thought, yeah, because Jenga is the tower card. It's like, for tarot-minded individuals, you start to see tarot everywhere, And so anyway, and we're going to get there, but Jenga is Jenga's the tower card. We're not actually going to do 78 because I don't have objects for the court cards. I left them out. Whatever, it doesn't matter. If you wanted to pick objects in like this, if you were going to do this yourself, you could pick objects for the court cards if you wanted to, but I think I ended up leaving them off my list. So sorry to my court card aficionados. But we're going to start with the major arcana and we're going to go as quickly as possible so that this isn't an hour-long video. Okay. Right off the rip. The Fool card. I put a pack of playing cards for this, but I might change my mind. The Magician. A diary. A diary. That's where I would find myself the best. And find my will and my power. Let's see. The High Priestess. Window tint. Like actual window tint you put, like you squeegee onto your window. The Empress. I put an I love you post-it, like one of those like cool notes that you would get in your lunchbox, or a post-it note that somebody writes for you and puts it on a mirror. Like that very kind of like a loving message, I guess. The Emperor, a toolkit. I remembered the first time I got I had been given a pink hammer. But it's also, a toolkit makes me have this kind of Big Daddy energy where like the first time I fixed something, the first time I switched out spark plugs in a car, things like that. Those are all like, those give me Big Daddy vibes. So a toolkit of some kind, like screwdriver, hammer, a wrench, The Hierophant, I put a book. Any book will do. This could be, you could say that this is a sacred text, but I think that your favorite book or a book that you go to all the time for reference and just for general love, I think that the Hierophant would be great as a book. Okay. The Lovers, a fun quiz, like those little quizzes that you do, like, they don't really mean anything. They're like meaningless quizzes, but they're so fun because you really, like, and you'll do it 10 times to get the one that you want. So the Lovers is a fun quiz. Chariot, I put a compass or a GPS device because it's not necessarily the vehicle for me. It's more about in getting somewhere. So like knowing where you want to go, not necessarily knowing where you want to go, but how to get there. I don't know how to say that. So a GPS device is of some kind, or a compass, or some navigatory object. Let's see. Justice. No, I'm sorry. Strength. Sorry. Strength, not justice. I switched them in my journal. Strength is duct tape. Duct tape. Yes. Hermit. Noise canceling headphones. That'll make you a hermit. It's made my teenagers hermits. A clock. A clock. Clock. Now, here we go to justice. An activist poster. Like a homemade activist poster. Hangman. A swing set. This doesn't have to be a kiddie swing set. This can be, you know, a porch swing or an adult swing, like one of those 2-seater things that you have in your yard or whatever. But a swing of some kind. Death. Now, this is cool because I wrote a black permanent marker. So it's not, I kind of wanted to take the finality out of death. And so I wrote, like, you can cross something out, right, of a book. Like, do those, like, block out things. That would be what the death energy for me would be. Permanently block something out. Temperance. What did I write for temperance? Oh, a recipe. Now, this is not something experimenting. That's what the word is. This isn't like you experimenting in the kitchen. This is you following a recipe. So it's an actual, like, recipe or a recipe book. The devil. Now, this is subjective, I feel like, because it would be like whatever your, you know, object de temptation would be. But, like, I think on the Reddit post that I saw earlier from a few years ago, it said put sex toy on this. But an object of temptation. I wrote cigar because it's one of those objects that you know you don't want to smoke it. But every time I see someone smoking a cigar, it just looks sexy as hell. Like, it's one of those sexy things that you just know is not good and you don't. So it's not necessarily temptation. It's more that it has that, like, sexiness about it. Right? So that's, like, cigars came to mind for that. The tower is a Jenga game. Them things coming, wood things are coming down. Wind blocks are coming down. The star, a telescope. A flashlight. Because it's dark. Sunblock. Sunblock. SPF 30. Okay? Judgment. Now, I could have put some kind of, like, weird object on this, like a horn or, I don't know, it was something that invokes the feeling of judgment for me. And that's the last will and testament. Okay? You can do this at any age. Well, if you're over 18, okay? You can make one at any age. It's not necessarily something that you do right before death. And it's not necessarily has anything to do with the finality. It's more about giving things its due. And that more along the lines, judgment has more of a last will and testament than death card, like a death card does. Tell me if you agree. And then the world is, I put a newspaper, but this could be any form of news media that you find reliable. Tonight at 5. It's really fast. Did that in under 10 minutes. But it's because I have them written down. If I had to think about this, I don't know. I think this exercise took me a little over an hour. But whatever. Okay, anyway. So, Ace of Wands, a pen. A pen. Or a pencil. A writing utensil. A map. Or a globe. An airplane ticket. Or a train ticket. A transportation ticket. An invitation. Now, for this, I wrote a house of cards. An actual house of cards. One of those triangular things that you build and then it's going to, like, inevitably fall down. But you work really hard at it. So a house of cards was definitely the strife card for me. And a medal or an award. Probably one of those, like, you know, that you wear that has like a big medallion on it. A fence. A chain link fence is what I wrote down. I wrote down because I was thinking about the Thoth 8 of Wands when I wrote this down. The window things, I have some actually like playing out right here. They're little prismatic objects that kind of hang and they put the light. It's more about transience. This card's more about transience for me. And I couldn't think of another like actual object. Maybe a compact, maybe like a mirror compact. Because technically every time you would look in it, you would look different. I don't know. A Band-Aid for this battle-born, battle-ravaged individual there. And then this, I've already picked this, and I think I've mentioned this before, but my object for Ten of Wands is barbed wire. So, okay, there were the wands. Now we're going to go into the cupped food. Your favorite mug. Now, because the 2 denotes more than, you know, someone else in the room with you, then this is the teapot. So if the ace is your favorite mug, then the 2 of cups would be the teapot. Something indicative of like if you put tea in there, then you're probably having tea with multiple people. But then for this, it's a bottle of wine or a bottle of champagne. I guess the 2 of cups could also be a pot of coffee if you prefer. But this indicates like this kind of almost, it's more party-like than it's just like intimate connection for me. So this would probably be like a glass of, a bottle of wine. Or, you know, like a mug for the, a pitcher for the table, right? The 4, this actually took me a little while because I was like, what the hell would this be? This is the continue watching button. You know how like when you're watching something and you've watched it, you've just been sitting there Netflix and chilling, and you finally get to that point where the thing has to like notify you that you've been sitting here for too long. And you're like, yes, I want to keep watching. This is that. So it's the continue watching button. A sad mixtape. Possibly a mixtape from an ex or one that you're going to make yourself, but that has like all sad songs on it. You want to like brood. That's that feeling I get. An old letter that, you know, you've dug out of your letterbox. I put a fast food menu for this. Fast food menu. Oh, or any kind of menu, but I put fast food menu. A cocoon. It's more, this 8 is more about like we're inside the throes of the transition, you know. A safety deposit box. And a family portrait. Okay. Now, swords. I'm going pretty quick. I'm pretty proud of myself for being not talking about these overtly long. Okay. This is a tape recorder. Like, or a recorder that you can just record your voice with. A voice messenger. This could be a voicemail. A voicemail that you save, maybe. A pro and con list. A Dear John letter. A stop sign. A write-up, possibly from a job, which, I mean, if you're in school, I guess it could be a school write-up too, but I'm thinking in an adult way, this would be like, you're getting written up at work. This is a revised resume. Like, you have to revise it because you're possibly, you're going to get fired from a job, or you need another job, and you have to revise that resume. So you're redoing your resume. A lockpick set. Handcuffs. Be the sexy ones if you want, if you prefer. A nightlight. And a hot water bottle. Because I know my ass can't live without one of them things. When I'm stick a fork in me, I'm done. I want my hot water bottle with me. This also could probably be an electric blanket. I think I have a blanket somewhere else, don't I? No, I don't. I think I put blanket for hermit, but the noise canceling headphones came to my mind. All right, last but not least is the pentacle suit. A seed packet. A perfect object for the Ace of Pentacles. Juggling pins. This also could be a buoy. I think about a buoy because of the water behind him. I thought about a buoy as well, like a buoy from the wake zone, but it could just be juggling pins, you know. A blueprint. Some of these feel so common, like common sense, you know, like it's like, okay, duh. A debit card. You know, the card linked to your actual bank account. A spare tire. Okay, because you know that your ass forgot that thing, and that's why you're here. Okay, so it's your object of safety. This could be a life raft. Actually, a life raft would be good for six of swords. Okay, yeah, I like that. But this is a spare tire. A wallet. Because you need something to put the money you're going to be giving away to people in. Or a money clip. I like a sexy money clip. A garden hoe. Because he's got one. Okay. This could be a tiller. I like a tiller. But I also like the garden hoe. Because it's more, the tiller, it feels more industrial. And the hoe is like a scythe, right? You're doing most of the work, you know. Like, I'm not saying tilling ain't hard, because damn, that shit is hard. But a hoe, it's like back-breaking work, you know. And it's almost like at the end of that day that you're hoeing the paths for the seeds, you know, the seeds to go in. You're like, you know. And so I picked a hoe. And then for this, I picked a hammer. Again, almost common sense to pick a hammer. You know, like, again, object, a tool of some kind. This was hard. I put a house key. But it could be the secret garden key. A key to the garden. Let's see. Or a watering can. I like a watering can. Because she kind of feels like she's already done the work and she's just basking in the glory of the garden right now. And so maybe she's just flitting about and she's got like a watering can in her hand. She's just, you know. And last but not least, a scrapbook. There you go. There were all my objects. Maybe I'll make this into a hashtag. I don't know. Because this was just, like I said, some journaling thing that I was doing that I thought was fun, that I thought I'd share. So if I do make it into a hashtag, I'll probably put it in the title of this so that you guys would know. But if you don't want to make a VR or anything, leave some of yours below. Like when the cards came up and you were like, oh, that could be that object. You know, and it have to be objects. Situations, like if you want more situational type aspects with the cards, then check out my Something to Live For video where I go through all 78 cards. And did I leave the courts out of that one too? I can't remember. Where I go through the deck and every single card has a reason to live that I out of my own brain. So you can check out that. That has more like situations. And these are actual objects, like everyday household objects. And I think someone put a toaster for the Hermit. That was pretty funny. I liked that. Yeah, like if you have any ideas for like everyday objects, leave them below. Okay? I hope this was fun, and I hope everyone's having a good day. Much love.